If you can hear that noise, it's this. And that other noise is the bin men. I thought the bin men had been. Is it the bin men? That's got to be the bin men, right, hasn't it? That can't be the bin men. Is that the bin men? It's so confusing. That can't be the bin men. I bet it is the bin men. It just doesn't sound like normal bin stuff. And I'm sure the bin men came ages ago. Like hours ago. Because I'm sure I've heard people putting the bins back in. Unless they were just moving the bins. Because what is that noise? Is that the bin men? Oh, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I normally have my big fan on, and I did. Well, it's not massive, but I did have it on, and then I turned it off briefly. Don't know why. And it's the other side of the room. So I've had this one on. I'm tired. Nothing unusual. I'm really struggling mentally today. I struggled yesterday. I know I filmed a little bit yesterday. I can't remember what I actually filmed. I know I filmed a bit on the dog walk because yesterday, that is the earliest I've been on a dog walk since I want to say sometime in June, because there was a couple of days in June where, I don't believe that's the bin men, by the way, because I know there's some work going on somewhere. But anyway, watch me be wrong and watch it be the bin men, but I'm pretty sure the bin men came hours and hours ago, but who knows? That could have been the workmen. I don't even know. So in June there was a couple of days where by 10-11 o'clock it was going to be like 23-24 degrees, and it was going to be like that all day, so I wouldn't have been able to walk the dog. So I was going out like 9ish, when in reality I should have gone out at 7, but I don't sleep very well, so as much as it would be good to go out at 7, I'm probably waking up at that time. So we did a couple of 9 o'clock-ish walks, and then yesterday I went out about 9:30ish, because there was 2 reasons why. The main reason was because my dad arranged for someone to be at the house, and it was just easier for me to go out because I just don't want to be here. It depends on who it is. And I don't particularly want to go out, but I knew I was going to go out days and days in advance. So I worked myself up to it. It still wasn't easy going out. And I did consider driving somewhere to walk, but there is a reason why, a very big reason why I've not done that. So I did walk at that time, and she wasn't easy on me, but then again, most walks she's not easy on me. She dragged quite a lot, and I wear the lead that like clips around my waist, and at that time in the morning, that is not a fun experience. And then I think I talked about how she tried to poo in someone's garden, and then she did it on the bottom of the drive and I had to pick it up. Anyway, I had planned, and my plans don't always work out because I am struggling with leaving the house, and it's nothing to do with why I struggled at the last house. But I wasn't always struggling when I moved in. It was weird that I could go out when I wanted and that I could drive my car, and it took some getting used to because I was like, oh, I can't go out yet, or I can't go anywhere in my car, because I've been conditioned to think that way because of what was happening to me at my previous address. But yeah, it was so surreal that I could come and go as I wanted, but now something has affected me and I don't want to go out. I feel scared, and it's nothing to do with what happened at the previous house. So it takes me hours and hours to work myself up to go in, and that's why yesterday morning I knew last week I was going to go out at that time, and then I did contemplate driving somewhere to walk, but there's a big reason why I didn't do that. So anyway, yesterday I thought I'll do 2 more walks. It'll be good for me and it'll be good for the dog. Well, the dog will definitely go out 50 times a day really. So I couldn't work myself up to going out in the afternoon, and like there was a certain time, well there was a couple of times I thought I'd go out this time, and then it got late. I was like, right, I'll go out this time, and then it got a bit late, and I'm like, well, the last chance I can go, because I like to be back by a certain time. Like, I don't like being out when there's tea time traffic, and there's reasons why. One, the dog, she doesn't like heavy traffic, especially if people are racing. She don't like the loud noises and stuff. And secondly, one of the roads I've got to cross is very, very difficult to cross, especially with a husky. And sometimes I've stood for ages trying to cross a particular road on my way home. So I like to be home just before 5 if I'm walking in this area, so I don't have to cross that really difficult road. Sometimes I can get across quicker than other times, but sometimes I've stood there for what feels like an eternity. So then I thought I'd go at another time, which sometimes I do walks at, and then I couldn't push myself to do it, and it kept getting later and later, and it kept raining. I'm like, oh, I'll go when it's not raining, even though I knew I was washing my hair today. And when I did go out, it said it weren't raining. It was doing, do you know that super, super light rain where after maybe 20 minutes your hair's soaking? It was doing that. But again, I knew I was going to wash my hair today. But for such little rain, when I came back, because on my way back I bumped into a neighbour further down, because everyone stops me because of the dog. 8 times out of 10 it'll be about the dog. The other 2 times it's because they want to talk to me, but then they'll still short the dog. So I did get stopped, and I was stood talking to this woman, and my dad starts driving up the road so slowly, I swear to God I could have crawled home faster backwards than he was driving. I don't know why he was driving so slow, because this woman went, oh, it's quite busy on here tonight. And I was like, oh, it's my dad. She went, oh, is that your dad? I'm like, yeah. And then she went in, and then my dad, still driving slower than a snail, managed to get back after me, and I was walking. But anyway, the point that I was trying to get to was about 5 minutes earlier, well, before I bumped into that woman, maybe slightly more, walking along the same road that the dog tried to poo in someone's garden. Guess what she did? She tried to poo in someone else's garden, who were home, and I'm trying to pull her away from the garden, and she's still in the pooing position as I'm like trying to pull her off the grass. She managed to poo a bit on the grass and then all over the pavement, I'm like, I don't believe you, dog. Like, literally, she knows she's not allowed in gardens because she gets told every single time to get out of people's gardens. So I'm there trying to pick up the poo out the garden, and it's soft, like it's shaped like a poo, but it's super, super soft like the morning one. Picking it up off the pavement, she's looking at me, like giving me this look. As soon as I pick it up and tie the bag, she tries to have another poo. And I think she did that because she knew it would pee me off. Nothing came out, but the owner of the house had come outside and was stood watching. So I made sure I said loudly to the dog, like, I don't know why you're doing that, nothing's coming out, because literally nothing was coming out. She's so embarrassing. She is such an embarrassment at times. I don't know why she keeps trying to poo in people's gardens on the same road. Oh, I tried to poo in someone's garden on this road earlier, I'm going to do it again. And she was a nightmare on the walk as well, especially not long, like the 10 minutes leading up to her doing that poo. She was dragging me really hard. But yeah, I'm reluctant to walk on that road now because I think she just wants to poo in every bloody garden on there. Not that anyone needs to know that, but, you know, she's unbelievable. And the worst thing is, like, it's just soft, formed, but soft, so then it is leaving little bits of it. Well, not bits, like, you know what I mean, if you pick dog poo up. It's just annoying. Why can't dogs poo into poo bags and tie it up and put it in the bin themselves? Oh God. Someone needs to invent bags that you can attach to the dog's bum, so when it poos, the bag opens, collects the poo and self-ties. That'd be handy, wouldn't it? But I don't know why she's insisting on trying to poo in people's gardens on that particular road, street, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. Can't remember the name of it. And do you know what makes me laugh? Yesterday, when I was speaking to my dad in the afternoon, can't remember why I spoke to him. There was a reason. Oh, do you know what it was? So we arranged to meet someone at the house, right? And this is what irritates me at times. He is super messy and he always makes a mess. And he thinks a woman's job is to do all the cleaning. And do you know what? I could spend 10 hours cleaning a day and he would say it looks like I've not cleaned. He used to do this to me all the time, like years ago. He'd go out for the day, like he'd go and do some activity, he'd be gone like 12 hours. And do you know all those jobs that you hate doing and you put off and they don't always need doing often, like wiping skirting boards down and stuff? There was this one particular day when I'd gone round the house, cleaned all the skirting boards, cleaned all the door frames, the doors, the door handles, because my dad gets doors filthy because he'll have food or whatever on his hands and he'll touch his hands on doors and stuff. And also the dirty marks on like light switches and round the light switch and on walls leading upstairs because he drags his dirty hands upstairs. So I've done all that, I've vacked every room, any rooms that needed mopping I mopped, I wiped everything down, I dusted everywhere, I did absolutely everything, you know, like a really deep clean, except for I don't do his bedroom. And he'd come home and he was like, what have you done all day? And I'm like, can't you tell? He's like, no, I can't tell what you've done all day. And I'm like, I've literally cleaned every room in the house, I've done this, this and this and this. He's like, looks like we've done nothing. I'm like, are you joking? Because literally I'd picked up crisp packets, because he'll sit there and eat a packet of crisps, he'll get 2/3 of the packet down in like swallow, the rest will either be all over the sofa or the floor. He'll throw the packet on the floor. If he's drinking beer, he'll throw the cans on the floor, the bottles, like there'll be stuff everywhere. And I picked all that up. I'd done all sorts of things and it was obvious. Like if you'd walked in the room for 1 second before and then walked in afterwards, you would notice everything. You'd be like, you've not done anything, you've like there's nothing been done, it don't look any different. And I'm like, is this serious? Because literally it's obvious what I've done. And he's like, yeah, I am serious, you've done nothing all day. And I'm like, I don't even believe you. I said, in future you can clean your own mess up because I'm not doing it anymore. I'm sick to death of cleaning light switches, round light switches, walls because you're dragging filthy hands up the walls with bits of food on or just dirt because you really never wash. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I said, literally, I've not stopped all day. You do nothing in the house and then you come home and insult me. And he does insult me and he thinks like my job is to do absolutely everything because he thinks he shouldn't have to do anything. So he'd arranged for people to come round, or one person, not people, and he'd done nothing to the house. So I was forced to like do stuff that I don't feel up to mentally. I'm like sorting the hallway out. I didn't do his living room. I backed his living room a couple of days ago when he weren't here, and in the days that he'd been back, he'd got crisps all over the floor, crisps all over his sofa. There was packets on the floor, all sorts. There was stuff all over his sofa that he dumped on the sofa. There were bags in places. And even yesterday morning when I'd gone downstairs, he was sat there messing on his phone with all this mess around him. And I thought, well, I'm not cleaning it up because it's your mess. You've invited someone round. You've arranged for them to be here. I'm not doing it. My living room was tidied. I'd tidied the kitchen, the bathroom, places that I didn't even think they were going to go. Yet I didn't feel mentally up to it, yet the day before I was forced to do this stuff. And I was like, we need to go to tip, I've got all these boxes, I've got 2 bags of rubbish that won't fit in the bin that's due to go today, and I mean bin bags, and I said even when the bin goes, gets emptied, like, it would fill the bin so I can't put it in the bin. And like, Monday was meant to come home and go to the tip and he didn't, and then Tuesday the tip's closed. And then yesterday morning, he had the opportunity to go to the tip, but he won't go to the tip because he doesn't think he should do it. And if he goes with me, it's just to drive me there. He doesn't do anything. He might put 1 bag in if I'm lucky. But yeah, we've got all this rubbish that needs to go. He don't care. And I've got other stuff to sort out that needs to go to the tip. And he doesn't really want to go. All those times I went to the tip when we were moving, we must have gone 25 times, if not more. I was exhausted, I was fighting sleep. Even in the mornings, I was like falling asleep, and I'm there fighting sleep all day just to bag things up or put things in cars, to go to the tip, then go like in it, like to the, what they call the skip things, countless times, to then go back to the house to repeat whilst he did next to nothing. I was exhausted for weeks, and even the weeks afterwards when I'd finally moved in and I didn't have to go back to that horrible Meadows, I was still absolutely exhausted by the amount of things that I was forced to do whilst he did next to nothing. And when he claimed he was cleaning and sorting, when we were back at the Meadows, I'd literally walk upstairs to find him sat down every single time. And he knew how exhausted I was and how like I weren't coping going back to that street with everything that had happened to me. Yet he was pushing me and making me go back to that house every single day for 2 weeks. Except for one day when we were prevented from going back by some stranger who came to the street and was harassing me. And we got footage of that from people. So, yesterday morning I didn't have much left to do. Just a couple of things, like 10 minutes worth of stuff. But he did next to nothing. And he didn't even pick the crisp up off his floor. He moved a couple of things off his sofa. But I'm thinking, like, how can you invite someone round with crisps on your floor? Like, and he'd obviously fully expected me to get those crisps off his floor. Yet he'd done them the night before. I'm not doing it. I'm literally not doing it. Like, I'm sick to death of everything. Like, he don't clean at all. Literally, I am cleaning more here when I don't feel up to it mentally than I did at the last house. And if you know why, you'll know why. Like, literally, I've never known anyone make so much mess, ever, and doesn't care about how filthy things are. And the only thing I will do in his living room is now and then I will vac it if I've got the vac out. Because I don't see why. A, he's getting all these crisps all over the floor, I don't understand it. and B, why I should have to do it. If he wants to live in a tip, he can live in a tip. I'm not doing it in his living room. It's his living room. It's like I don't do his bedroom. I've not seen it. I know he's not changed his bedding since we've lived here. And we've lived here since, well, we moved the big stuff here like the very start of the second week of May. And it's August tomorrow. So nearly 3 months. Like in a week's time, it'll be 3 months probably. He's had that same bedding on. He's had his windows shut since the second week of living here, because there was one night. There was this day, right? Every time I walked past his bedroom, it felt like a wind tunnel. And I'm like, bloody hell, that is crazy. Like, it was that windy. And it was like, it was a really windy day. And I'm thinking, why is it a wind tunnel there? And I made the comment to him. He's like, well, I've only got my window open a little bit. And I'm like, you won't believe how windy it is. And he didn't believe me. And he come home that night, and I was talking about how cold it was outside his room and how it did feel like a wind tunnel. And he was not nice about it. Then he goes to bed. And then I can't remember if he shouted down to me or he texted me. Turns out that the wind had got hold of his window and whacked it open as full, like as wide open as the window would go, and he couldn't reach it. So of course, I'm then having to come upstairs with the grabber thing and somehow grab hold of it. It wasn't easy, and shut it for him, and he's had the window shut since then. So I can imagine how bad it smells in there, because his last bedroom absolutely stank. And I'm like, what the hell have you actually done in this room? Because it stank. Can you, like, imagine, like, I don't imagine the worst smelling boy's room you've ever been in and times it by 100. It reeked. I don't know what he'd done in there. It just stank. And I'm not being mean, it literally did. And he had his window open all the time, and I was so confused how something could smell that bad with a window open all the time. And even when everything was out there, it reeked. And I'm like, we can't leave this house with this one room stinking like death, because it did. So I did put carpet powder down and left it for as long as I possibly could and wrapped it up, and it got rid of some of the smell, but you could still smell it. So I did it again, and you could still smell something. So I don't know what was on that carpet, but it was disgusting. So I dread to think how that room smells, especially with the fact he's slept on the same bedding for nearly 3 months and he doesn't shower. He'll wash his hair, he'll wash his face, really washes his hands, because I'm like, you should wash your hands when you come in because you've been touching things. He's like, I've not touched anything dirty. I said, probably everything you're touching is dirty. It probably doesn't look dirty. I said, but imagine how many people have touched things that you've now touched. And he gets really offhand with me, because I'm like, can you at least wash your hands? Because he passes germs on to me. That's one of my pet peeves. He makes me ill quite often, because he'll go to a pub and he'll touch things like countless people have touched and they've got germs. He will catch something. He'll be slightly unwell but don't feel that bad. Then he'll pass it on to me and I get really ill. And he don't care, like, he just not care at all, and refuses to wash his hands. Like, I wash my hands every time I come in. If I've been anywhere, it's like if I go in a shop and I come back in my car, I put sanitizer on, because I don't know what anyone's touched or what they've got. And there was a time when I was constantly getting ill, and there was questions being asked, like, why are you getting ill all the time? And I'm like, it's my dad. And he didn't care that he was constantly making me sick because he refuses to wash his hands. I don't know how anyone can go all day or even days and not wash their hands. So I left at 9:30, and he was meant to, this person weren't coming round till 10 o'clock apparently, because they said to him they'd be round between 9:30 and 10:30. And I said to him, you won't even be here at 9:30, because he does something every morning that he doesn't need to do, but he does. For all the wrong reasons, but I'm not going to go into what that is on the internet. Some people know, some people don't. So I'm like, you won't even be home at 9:30. I was like, you've arranged to meet someone at 9:30. I said, I'm going out around that time. And this person weren't even coming to see me, so there was no way I was going to be there when he potentially wouldn't be home till up to 10 o'clock. So he said he'd contacted them and arranged for them to come round between 10 and 11. So tell me why this person turned up at 20 to 10. Yeah, that's because he lied. He hadn't contacted them. He let them believe that he would be at home at 9:30. And I actually have a sneaky suspicion, based on the fact that I'd seen their car, that they'd actually turned up just after I left, and that he had them waiting 10 minutes on the doorstep. And that's typical of my dad, because he thinks his time is more important than anyone else's, and he's late for everything. It's like a month-ish ago, was it the gas man? The gas man or someone was coming to the house, and this gas man is notoriously early. And also, he said to my dad he was going to be at the house between, I can't remember what time it was. Was it 3 and 4 or 2 and 3? One of those, I can't remember. But on the day, or the day before, I said, what time's the gas man coming? Because he told me the week early and I couldn't remember, because I definitely didn't want to be here. Because there was this one time I've bumped into this gas man twice. There was one time I bumped into this gas man. He must do all of Darwin, you know. Well, maybe not all of Darwin, but I know he's used a lot around Darwin, because I see him at random houses, like, you know, his van outside people's houses. I'm trying to get a ring off my finger. I never take it off. Once I put a ring on, I typically keep it on until I want to change it. And I just wanted to take it off and it just wouldn't come off then. I always panic when I can't get a ring off. Does anyone else do the same? So, God, I haven't had this off in ages. So, I feel like I want to swap it out for a different ring, because I've had it on for a while. It's an affirmation ring. And it's one of those you can adjust, but I've never needed to adjust it because it was literally just the right size for me. But apparently it's slightly tight. I don't know what I'd swap it out for. Don't want to put on the one that I took off, although I don't know where it is. And I've got a horrible feeling that the one that I took off to put on the one that I did have on, I think I've accidentally thrown it out with 2 other rings when I was moving, because I think they were in the bag or the parcel that they came in. And I think I threw that out thinking there was nothing in it. And I think it was the rings. And I can't confirm or deny it because I've not unpacked a good third of stuff. Because was meant to be having a clear out as I was unpacking. But I've just, because of some stuff and how I feel, I've just not unpacked a good third. So until I've unpacked or gone through everything, I can't confirm or deny it. But I would like back the ring that I took off originally, because that's the one I want to wear. Anyway, the gas man's always early. And I was like, don't forget to come back early, because this particular one is always early. He's like, I'll be there early. So I think I texted him about half an hour-ish before. And I'm like, are you on your way back? Because it'd probably take him 10 minutes to get back. And then it took him ages to reply from memory. He's like, oh yeah, I'm on my way back. I think he'd just left. So I was like, I'm going to be in my car because I'm going to clear it out. So I'm in my car. I walk out to my car. I think I was in and out. I think I was taking stuff in and out to the bins and stuff. And my dad then pulled up just a minute before, but it turns out the gas man was already at the house, and I didn't know. I didn't see the gas man, because he turned up early. And my dad had got to the house about 7 minutes before, When I was like, you need to turn up at least 20 minutes before. He didn't. But yeah, he's always, even if he knows someone's going to definitely turn up early, he won't turn up early. And if, like he says, oh, I'll meet you at 1 o'clock, he'll turn up at 20 past. Or another habit that my dad does, which is really annoying, and probably for other people, he will either get the date/day wrong or the time wrong. And I'm like, why are you not writing it down? He's like, oh, I forgot. Or he writes things down on scraps of paper where there's loads of other things written down. So then he can't find it, and then he'll be like, oh, and he'll be there like going through countless pieces of random paper with loads of scribblings on, can't find it. Then he'll either say, oh, like, I'll ring them, or I'll ask them. Don't ring or ask them, or if he does, he'll write it down on another scrap piece of paper if he writes it down. And I'll be like, you need to put it in your phone. I'll put it in my phone later. And I'm like, well, why don't you do it now? I'm busy now. I'm like, yeah, but you'll forget. Oh, I won't forget. You've got no faith in me. Yeah, he'll forget to put it in his phone. Or if by some miracle he puts it in his phone, he'll either put the wrong day or the wrong time in. So there's times where he's either turned up for appointments that like were days earlier, or he'll turn up early, like days earlier, or even a week early, which he's done quite often. And I'm like, why can't you write it down? And he's never, in my entire life, he never correctly writes things down. And sometimes he'll be like, oh, I don't know what day it is. I'm like, well, ring them, text them, whatever. And he'll be like, oh, I will do. And if he does contact them, he still doesn't write it down. It's very rare for him to like put it in his phone. I'm like, I put everything in my phone because I will forget. And he's like, oh, I will do. And I'm like, but why are you not doing it? And he doesn't. And he turns up for everything late. And he don't care. And like, he'll say to me, oh, I'll meet you at such and such a time. The amount of times he's had me waiting an hour, 2 hours, and then he casually turns up like it's fine that he's made me wait. He don't care. So yeah, he lied to me saying he changed what time he was going to meet this person. He knew he wouldn't be at 9:30. It's a miracle he got here at 20 to 10. Now, the fact he said he was here at 20 to 10 doesn't mean he was here at 20 to 10. I wasn't here, I don't have a clue. So, obviously I can't confirm nor deny if he was here, but I did see the person parked up. I don't know if they'd, because where I saw them, oh God, does anyone ever get like a really itchy toe? And like, no matter how much you scratch it or itch it, it still doesn't stop irritating you. I've got a specific toe that does that, and like in between it, and it's so annoying. That's what I'm doing, by the way. I'm sure they were here, because when I'd walked about 2 minutes and saw their car. So he definitely hadn't changed it to 10 to 11. And I don't mean 10 to 11, I mean between 10 and 11. And then I'm on this walk, and I'm like, don't want to go back whilst they're there, because I don't want to get involved in what's being discussed. And I'm thinking, when they've gone, he's going to probably let me know. And I was about to I text him like, are you home yet, or whatever. And I think that was about 10ish, or just before 10. And I was about to extend the distance of the walk, because if I'd carried on, I would have been home in 10 minutes. So I was going to go somewhere where we'd had another 15 minutes on top of that. And I'm walking along, and I'm about to take this turn which would add the time on, and I could add longer on. And then this was about 10 minutes, if not more, after I texted him. He's like, oh, I'm already back at my office. And I'm thinking, he would have read that text message I'd originally sent and decided not to reply to it, and he'd waited until he was back in his office to reply. So I could have gone home earlier than what I did. And he's like, well, it don't matter, I didn't reply straight away, because I spoke to him on the phone a bit later on. I was like, well, it did, because I almost was about to take a turn which would have put made me go further away from home. And I said also, like, I'd already extended it. And I said, obviously, I didn't know how long that person was going to be at the house and what time they were going to get there. But that's when I found out he'd met them there about 22, which was probably more like 42, because he won't tell me the exact time, because that's him. Like, he'll say 22, but really it could have been 10-2 knowing him. And then he didn't tell me when he was leaving. So I was out longer than I needed to be, when really I was struggling being out the house and I wanted to go home. But that's my dad for you. And if I wouldn't have texted him at that point and texted him later, he still would have left a big gap in between me playing to me. So he messed me around. And he also misled me about the reason the person was here. That's my dad for you. So today I was meant to wash my hair, and I've not done it. It is the afternoon now. I've been up here a while. I keep gravitating towards my room again, and that's how I know I'm struggling with life. I spent a chunk of time up here yesterday. In fact, I'm spending a chunk of time up here every day. I do feel comfier up here. The dog's constantly stealing the sofa. Apparently it belongs to her. She's claimed it for herself. And when I do get on it, which is very rare, if I get up to go and get a drink or go to the toilet, I'll guarantee 8 times out of 10, I'll walk back in the room and she's where I was sat. But I do feel better up here, and I know when I'm struggling with life, this is where I gravitate towards. I have been downstairs. I was downstairs for quite a while, but I just came up here and I want to be up here. But I need to wash my hair, and I was like, I don't want to go and do it because I want a shower bath. And I know I can't just have a half an hour shower bath. I'll be in there an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I don't want to do that. So I came up here and I was doing a few things, and I've been sat here a bit, and I was like, because I'm struggling, I am down, I just can't, I'm not coping, I can't cope. And this is why I gravitate up here, because it does help in a way. Don't stop me from feeling down, but it does help in a way. And I can't explain why or how, because it's me, and I know how I feel, and you can only sometimes explain how you feel to yourself rather than having to word it to people. But I was gonna go and like try and have a half an hour one. I'm like, I know I won't manage half an hour. And I was sat up here and I'm like, do you know what? Wax and dry shampoo in. You can do your dog walks, because really I should do 2. I mean, time's getting on, and I technically did want to go in 20 minutes. When I thought earlier, like this morning, when I was going to go out, it was going to be in 20 minutes time. That's what happened, because I've not even washed, I've not done my skincare or anything. And I know when I stop filming now, there's absolutely no way I'm just going to go and start getting ready straight away. I'm probably going to go and get a drink. I might try and eat something. I don't know what I want to eat, because yesterday I made meatballs with my own sauce and I didn't enjoy it at all. I enjoyed the pasta. I could happily eat just pasta by itself. And I've got more meatballs. I am going to freeze them because I didn't enjoy it at all, and I didn't feel very well last night. And I think it was potentially the meatballs and maybe the sauce combined. But I think if I ate the sauce by itself, I think it would have affected me. And I think if I ate the meatballs, it would have affected me, because they've got some kind of herb thing in them. I think they're Italian style, and they just didn't agree with my body, and I think the sauce didn't either. So I am going to freeze them, which means all I've got is nothing. I've got some frozen stuff, so I might have pasta and sauce, or see what else I've got potentially in the freezer as my main meal. My dad can have those meatballs. I just don't think my body enjoyed me having them. It's potentially whatever they've got in the meatballs, but also I think it was the sauce I made, because I didn't make it the way I typically make it, because there was a couple of ingredients that I didn't have because I hadn't thought it through, and I'd actually forgot I had the meatballs until the day before when I spotted them in the fridge. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about them. Luckily they had the 3rd of August on, which was a good date because I actually picked them up last Thursday. Because I popped to Asda last Thursday. And I would have popped to Asda today, but I can't be bothered. Well, it isn't just about can't be bothered, it's just how I feel mentally. I don't want to be around people in a shop. Unfortunately I have to do it on Fridays, but I work myself up to Fridays, although I do still find it difficult, and there is a reason why I'm finding it more difficult at the moment. So I'm going to freeze those meatballs. I'm not going to look what I've got in the fridge. I've got some tofu in the fridge, but I would have had that with a stir fry, but I don't have any stir fry vegetables. In fact, the only vegetable I've got in the fridge is potatoes. I don't even have a big potato because I could have done a baked potato, and I can't do that because I don't have any. So I don't know what I'm going to have today, but I just hated the taste of the sauce. Like, I ate it, but I didn't love it, and the meatballs weren't to my taste, and I think them together was why my stomach weren't very happy last night. And I don't mean I was on the toilet, I mean it was rumbling and felt very uncomfortable. So I'm going to try and get out at the time that I thought I would go out, but I don't really want to go out at that time, but I need to go out. Whether or not I'm going to manage it is another story. If not, there is a second time, early evening, mid-evening, I don't know what would everyone class as like early evening, because I would class lunchtime at 12, early afternoon 1, mid-afternoon 3, late afternoon 5 to 6, early evening 6, maybe 7 to 8, mid-evening 8 to 10, late evening 10 to 12. I mean, I've not really thought about it, but that was, if I'd had to think about it, those were the times I would class it as those times, whatever. But then I would have to do 2 walks and do one later, which is the easier walk for me, surprisingly. But there's been a lot of times recently where I've only managed the late walk, and it's not long enough because I'm not willing to do a super long walk when it's getting darker and darker. And there's some areas I definitely won't walk in when it's getting darker. And last night, even though it wasn't dark, I think it was like going up for 9, I had to walk through an area that I wouldn't walk through at that time of night. And then all of a sudden there was someone behind me with a dog, and I just felt so uncomfortable. And then I could hear people coming from the side, but I couldn't see them because of the area. And then she knew they had a dog, and she started to be a nightmare, and I'm trying to walk quickly through this area that I wouldn't walk through at this time of night. And then I'm out of breath, and she decides to then drag me. So that was great. Anyway, I've probably bored everyone to death if you've managed to get through the video. And I hope this isn't too loud. It goes louder. Oh, turned it off, well done. I actually can't find the original one I had of this. I think have I said that in a video? I think I have. I kept taking it to Meadows with me, and I've not seen it since the final day I was at the Meadows. And it definitely wasn't left there, because I walked through every room. So I don't know where it is. Was it accidentally put in a rubbish bag instead of a bag that was brought here? Because there were rubbish bags, and then there were bags that were brought here. So have I accidentally put it in a rubbish bag, or have I packed it in something that I've yet to unpack? So I went weeks and weeks without one during the time when I could have done with one, and I eventually was like, no, you're going to get another one. And this one is slightly different because it is actually see-through. But it still works the same. So I thought I would immediately find it. Do you know, as soon as this arrived, I thought, oh, I'm going to find it. But I've not, to this day, not seen it. It's just like I packed this in this, because I went through this earlier. I was like, oh, I wonder what's in that. That's another, oh God, that's another video. So I recently got a set that has this in, and a hairspray, because it's called the anti-frizz set bundle. And I was like, I bet as soon as I get one with this in, I'll find it. Yeah, it's a week later, but I found it. I was just messing around with it before I started filming. The hair does need washing, and I did plan on washing it, and now I'm thinking it's going to be later on, even though I don't really want to go out of the house and get this fleecy, and I don't think dry shampoo is going to revive it that much. The ends are a bit frizzy and dry, so I'm going to have to put something in that from humidity and because it kept getting wet, but the roots look greasy because it was getting a bit wet, and that's what happens, and that's why I don't like getting it wet in the rain. So this is basically, it smells like hairspray, and it's to tame frizzy flyaways basically. So I just put more in than I would normally use, because I was like, oh, this would be good if you was doing a slip back, which I never do. And I was like, slicking my hair down, and oh god, it just needs washing, but I'm not, if I went and did it now, I would guarantee I'd been there in an hour and a half, and there'd be zero chance of me going out this afternoon. Because at the moment, it's 50-50 because I don't know which way it's going to go. It depends on how I feel and if I can push myself to do it. So, it does work. But it does smell like hairspray, and I'm like, I bet it's just like a liquid hairspray. I mean, it's got avocado extract and wheat protein, no unwanted sticky residue, which is true, I can touch it and there's no stickiness, tames flyaways and baby hairs, lightweight hydrating formula. It's got alcohol in, which is going to dry your hair out, but it's just like mascara. I have a few things by Vodou. I've got shampoo with matching conditioner. It's the illuminating one. I've got a couple of these actually. It's the I'm looking at it. It's the Velvet Crown Sleek Smooth Shine Thermal Conditioning Spray. So this is what they've gone like pretty viral for. This is basically like, you know, the Colour Wow one. Their version of it. It's cheaper and it's basically identical. When I use it, I don't use it the best way I should use it, because you're meant to coat all your hair and dry it, and then I think you use it every 3 shampoos after that, 3 to 4 shampoos. So I have 2 on the go, because I opened one when I got one earlier in the year. I think you get 12 months to use it, and then I obviously packed it when I moved, and like I said, I've not packed a good third of stuff, if not more. So I ended up with a second one around the same time-ish. So I've opened either that one, or I did get the Vodou mystery box sent to me, and one of the items was this. And what was the other item? Was the other item one of these? No, I got that with some... What did I get that with? I know I got this hair vitamin gummies, which I finished. I got a brush, a little round. Do you know what, it was ironic, because I got this and I needed a small round brush for ages because I've got a big one, and I needed a smaller one for my fringe, even though I could just about manage to do my fringe with the big one. I needed a small one. This, I like it because it's got one of these, so do you know, like if you're trying to separate your hair or whatever, it's got that. I've not actually ever used it because I've only mainly used the brush to do my fringe. But they do this in different sizes, but this was in the mystery box. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is perfect, because this is the size of brush I needed for my fringe. So I was very happy to get that. I keep forgetting to use it because I used it the other day, but I do keep forgetting to use it. When I first got it, I was using it every time I dried my hair. So I got that, I got gummies, I got the Velvet Crown spray. And it's lasting me ages because I've not used it the proper way many times. I usually just put a bit in It does make your hair super soft and lovely though. I do recommend it if you're looking for that kind of thing. I can't remember what the fourth item was in the mystery box. Velvet crown, gummies, hairbrush, and... oh, I know what it is. It's this hair oil called R oil, as in R. Instead of calling it hair oil, it's R oil, because it's an Irish brand, and I think they called it R as in the letter R, because when they say hair, it does sound like they're going hair. Like, I can't do an Irish accent, but it's a very lightweight, dry kind of oil. Because I put some in my hair the other day. Oh, it was yesterday when it was frizzy because it got a bit damp on the earlier walk. Because on the earlier walk, God, I need to finish this video. It kept doing the light rain, and it got to the point where I was like, I'm going to have to put my hat on, because if the top of my hair gets quite wet, it's going to look greasy, and I don't want to wash it till tomorrow night, as in tonight. And I'm like, so I put my hat on, and then of course the bloody light, very light, spitty rain stuff stops. So I'm like, oh great. I'm like, I'm going to keep the hat on, because my hair's probably now a mess because I put a hat on. So in the last at least 5 minutes of the walk, maybe longer, the lighter rain started, then it got heavier. So then the bottom part of my hair was semi-wet, like it weren't damp and it weren't wet, it was in between those two. By the time I got home, and my top was wet. So when I came home, I came in here and put some of my oil in, not that one I'm talking about, and dried it and twisted it back in a crocus and clipped it up. I actually did that the other day as well. Was it Tuesday? I think it was the day before it got a little bit wet as well, because it weren't meant to rain, and it rained a bit, and the dog messes me around. I call it dicks me around. She dicks around. So yeah, the day before that, I also had to do the same thing. The problem is with twisting it up is it gets quite wavy curly. Not typically if my hair is fully dry, but because I'd like dried it with hair oil and then twisted it up, when I took the claw clip out to go on a walk last night, it looked like I'd had a bouncy blow dry on the 2/3 of my hair. Which isn't a bad thing, but the top of it didn't match up. I was like, oh god, that looks quite good. But the day before when I took it out, it didn't look as good, and some of the curls were a bit weird ways. So, because I'm trying to work out if there's a way round, if my hair gets wet, stopping it from looking greasy or frizzy. And I've been managing to get away with it not looking too greasy, because typically, if I washed my hair and went out now and it rained, and it made my hair wet, when my hair dries, the roots look greasy and the ends look frizzy. Then I'm having to wash it sooner than I want to. Sometimes I'm literally washing it again the same day. It depends on what I'm doing the following day. But recently I've been trying different things to try and prolong it, even if I get an extra day out of it. Do you know, instead of having to wash it the same day. So recently I have been putting hair oil in the ends and drying it. But it's still quite frizzy when I'm taking it out the twist. So I have been putting that R oil in. But it's not like the thickest oil, which is a good thing. But I'm having to put a bit more in than I would normally do. But it's not weighing it down, and it's not making it too, like, over producted, whatever. So that's the 4 things I got in the mystery bundle. But I've also got where is that hairbrush? I got a hairbrush by them, and it's actually a really good hairbrush. I don't think I've seen it since I've moved, which means I've not unpacked it. But this is my favourite hairbrush. I want to get a couple more of these because I'm worried it's going to break. But oh, this is my ultimate favourite hairbrush. And I like it bends to your head and stuff, like the shape of your head. Before that, my main hairbrush was a Denman paddle brush, the square one. It's in my main bathroom. Because a lot of the times I come back from walks and I'd brush my hair and then put it in a claw clip. So, but this is my favourite. Although I do love my paddle brush, but ever since I've got this has become my main hairbrush, and I want to get some more of these because it literally moves to the shape of your head. But the hairbrush that I use when my hair is wet, and have done for years, I have a couple of these, and it's full of hair. Just took a toupee. This is the best brush. It's the Wet Brush by Tangle Teaser. I've got it in pink as well. I should get a new one. I feel like I've had this ages. And the teeth, they're not called teeth. Some of them are slightly bent. I know the pink one probably packed somewhere. But this is the only thing, because my hair does get tangled when I wash it. This is the only thing that goes through really well when it's wet. But I realised I couldn't find that the other week, even though it's always in the same drawer. I was using this on wet hair, and this goes through it, but not as easy, but better than most brushes. So I do want to get a couple more of these, because I am definitely a fan of this brush. I think it's by Nature's Spell. So I also have, what else do I have by Voodoo? I know I have 3 Velvet Crown things. I need to use them more. I know I have the brush, which I really like. It's a square one, and it's one of those when you press it, like it comes through, you know, like, but not like this. I don't know where, I've definitely not seen it since I've moved. So that means it's packed somewhere. And I love that brush, so I hope I find it soon. Not as good as this one, but it is a good brush. I've also got, and this is running low, heat protection spray. I did have 2. I opened this one when I moved here because I couldn't find the one that was open, but this is, I'll be lucky if there's enough to do my hair with once. And I've also got the dry shampoo, and I can see it. Can I see it? Yeah, I can see it, but I can't reach it. And that's getting quite low as well, and I really like that one. And I love the heat protection spray because I've never had it where it's an aerosol spray, and it's super handy to have. I do feel like I've got a couple other things. Like I did get this. I bought a bundle. Did I buy 2 bundles? Yeah, there was one with the shampoo, conditioner, and the hair brush, and the Velvet Crown. And then the other one had the Velvet Crown, this, and I want to say 2 other products, but I couldn't name them. They are good products. The shampoo is good, and the conditioner. The conditioner isn't the best if it's the one I'm thinking of. Oh, look, I've done a knot in it. Oh, that could be a little moustache. I do have another something coming from them that I'm being sent, and it's got in a, I think it's called the Detox Bundle, and it's got a clarifying spray and a detox shampoo. So my hair definitely needs a good detox. So I've got that coming. That'll probably arrive next week. So I need to remember this is my older one. I wish I had a pen in here or a marker. Do I have a marker in here? Oh yeah, I do. I'm gonna put, what should I write on it? I'll put first, well, the number 1 with ST. So then I know this is the first one I got. So I can concentrate on using this one first. I opened the other one the other day. Was it last week? I went somewhere. I had a meeting, a 2-hour meeting earlier in the week. And it was a humid day and it weren't meant to rain. It did actually bloody rain. And luckily for me, I had like a raincoat in my car. Because I got there and I was like, oh my god, it's not here, and I've got to walk when I park my car, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to get my hair wet, I'm not going to be happy, like I'm going to look like an idiot. And luckily I've kept that, I left it in my car. I need to keep that permit in my car because it is England, like you never know, it could be snowing in 10 minutes. I mean, it wouldn't be, I mean it'd be weird if it did, but the weather's unpredictable. But when I did my hair that morning, because I've had a lot of flyaways recently, I put a little bit on top to get rid of flyaways, and then I put it in my bag, so I had it with me if I had the opportunity to go and like look at my hair, which I never did. But when I did get back to my car and I looked in the mirror, the flyaways were still stuck down. So it does actually work. And I had a 10-minute walk each way as well, and it was humid and raining, and I had my hood up, and my hood would have been touching the top of my head, yet there was no flyaways. So it does work, but it smells like hairspray, so I believe it's some form of a hairspray. But I like it because you can really stick it down with hairspray. It wouldn't work as well for flyaways. But I do have this extra hold hairspray that came with another one of them. And I don't wear hairspray the way I used to. I used to do hairspray in my hair. And I did have a favourite one. And I am going to end it on this. God, if you've watched this all the way through, well done. Because I am going to upload it. Because I'm going to go and put my phone on charge. And I'm going to maybe have my main meal if I can decide what to have. Because I do prefer to have it in the afternoon. And I've not been doing it since I moved here. I've only done it a couple of times, but I used to do it a lot at my previous house. So, what was I going to say? The hairspray that I used to use was by Boots, and it's the unperfumed one. And I used to get the big can of it, and sometimes I would go in Boots and they wouldn't have it in stock for ages. So I would buy 2, and those 2 cans would last for ages because I wouldn't put shit tons on. Do you know, some people just put absolutely loads on. I didn't, and I mainly used it at a time when I used to backcomb a small layer of my hair at the sides. Do you know what? I should do that. It didn't damage my hair. It just, like, my hair's like, it needs a bit of volume. So I might start doing that again. I need to find my comb. Oh, good luck. So yeah, and like if I was like, did my hair, I'd put a little bit on top and a little bit in my fringe. And I don't really do that anymore, but I should do. But that was the best one, and even though it was like a Boots on hairspray, it was a really, really, really good hairspray. The Got To Be Glued's a good one, but every time I've got To Be Glued, I do typically get the small can. A lot of the times, the spray stops working. Do you know, because I didn't use it often, like sometimes I'd really use it, it would dry up in the thing that the spray comes out of. I don't mean the bit, I mean the bit inside, and it would never run block. And Elnet's a good one. I've not had that in years and years, but if you ever go in Boots, I've not been in Boots in years. I stopped ordering online. If you know the story, you know why. I have ordered a couple of times in this past 6 months. Well, actually not since I've moved, but before that. If I order again, or if I do happen to go in Boots, which is not the most likely thing to happen, but you never know, I will pick up one if they still do it. But if you do use hairspray and you don't like the smell, the unperfumed one by Boots is great. Definitely get the full size one. And they used to do offers like buy one get the second half price. I don't know if they still do offers like that in Boots. Like I said, I've not been in years, and I've not shopped online for ages. When I've gone on, it's been to get one specific thing. But on that note, I didn't plan to film for an hour. I am going to go and put you on charge somewhere. Well, I know exactly where. And I am going to upload it whilst it's on charge. I'm going to go and see what food there is. I don't feel hungry. I am doing better with food this week, actually. I've actually done better because I was barely eating, and I was trying to eat 3 times a day to keep my body going, and so I weren't too clumsy because I was very clumsy and I was getting disorientated. Last week I barely ate. I mean, I was on another planet all week, and I think it was lack of food in my body. But this week, I have, especially since Tuesday, I've done a lot better. So hopefully, I mean, I think I know what's causing the thing, and as long as that doesn't happen again, which I hope it doesn't, hopefully I will get back on track with being able to eat. But if I don't see anything that I want, I have been wanting a smoothie for days, and I was going to make one yesterday and I ended up forgetting and having Weetabix. I've only got 1 Weetabix left, so I won't be doing that. So it's either going to be a smoothie or a proper meal, but I don't know what I've got. And if it's something that takes ages to cook out the freezer, it's not going to happen. And I'm going to go. Have a great day, everyone. Subscribe if you're not doing so. If you got to the end and genuinely have watched it all, you get 10 points. You know what points mean? Prizes. What show is that? Points mean prizes. What show is it? I've just put that on charge. I mean, it's got 77 battery and it tells you what your battery is. Look, can you see it? 77. That's been on an hour. Well, longer. I had it on before. And there's my hair. I'm going to put that in the bin. If anyone would like to clone me,